So Saskatchewan just decided to ship $1 billion worth of potash through Washington state instead of British Columbia, and David Eby is not happy star. Like, picture your neighbor building a brand new driveway that cuts through someone else's yard while yours sits empty. That's basically what just happened here, except instead of driveways, we're talking about a massive export terminal, and instead of your neighbor, it's an entire province giving Canada the corporate equivalent of thanks, but no thanks. Buckle up, because this trade drama has more layers than a Timbits box, and honestly, it's getting spicy. Alright, let's set the stage. Nutrien Limited, Saskatchewan's fertilizer giant, just announced they're dropping a cool $1 billion on a potash export terminal. Potash, by the way, is basically fancy rock salt that farmers love because it makes crops grow like they're on steroids. Canada's got tons of it, Saskatchewan mines most of it, and the world wants to buy it. So far, so good, right? Here's the plot twist. Instead of shipping this stuff through British Columbia's perfectly good ports like Prince Rupert, Nutrien looked at the map, squinted real hard, and said, you know what? Let's go with Longview, Washington. That's right. They're literally bypassing an entire Canadian province to ship Canadian resources through American territory. It's like ordering Tim Hortons delivery from a Dunkin' Donuts in Buffalo. Technically possible, but why ? Now, David Eby, BC's premier, heard about this and basically had the political equivalent of a meltdown. I was really disappointed, he told reporters, which in Canadian politician speak translates to I'm absolutely livid but trying to keep it together for the cameras. And honestly, can you blame him? Imagine turning down $1 billion infrastructure project that would create jobs, boost your economy, and strengthen Canada's position in global trade. It's like swiping left on a lottery ticket. But Eby didn't stop at disappointment. Oh no. He went full economic profit on us, warning that shipping through Washington means Saskatchewan's potash is now completely at the mercy of Donald Trump's whims. And let's be real, Trump's whims have the consistency of a weather vane in a tornado. One day he's your best friend, the next day he's slapping tariffs on you faster than you can say trade war. Eby called it the worst of both worlds, and honestly, it's hard to argue with that logic. You're paying American fees, following American regulations, and hoping an American president doesn't wake up cranky and decide Canadian potash needs a 50% tariff because someone hurt his feelings on Twitter. So why is Nutrien doing this? Are they just trying to make Eby's life difficult? Turns out, they've got reasons. According to Nutrien, Longview makes more financial sense. We're talking about cost advantages across the board, transportation, logistics, infrastructure, the whole 9 yards. BC ports might be Canadian, but apparently they're also more expensive, more complicated, or both. It's like choosing between shopping at a bougie grocery store where everything's locally sourced but costs twice as much, versus driving 5 minutes further to somewhere that just works better for your budget. But here's where it gets juicy. This isn't happening in a vacuum. Eby revealed that Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe had been in secret talks with Prime Minister Mark Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith about building an oil pipeline through BC. And guess who wasn't invited to those conversations? That's right, the Premier of the province the pipeline would actually go through. Eby said he almost fell out of his seat when he heard about it, which is the most passive-aggressive Canadian way of saying excuse me, what? So now we've got this beautiful mess where Saskatchewan is making deals with Washington while also conspiring with Alberta and the federal government about BC infrastructure without actually talking to BC. It's like planning a house party at someone else's place and not telling them until the guests start showing up. Eby's sitting there thinking I was especially surprised because there's a lot we should be doing with Saskatchewan, which is politician code for we could have worked this out if anyone had bothered to pick up the phone. And look, Eby's got a point about the national interest angle. $1 billion terminal at Prince Rupert doesn't just benefit BC. It strengthens Canada's entire West Coast trade infrastructure, creates Canadian jobs, keeps Canadian resources flowing through Canadian ports, and reduces our dependency on American goodwill. In theory, everyone wins. But theory and practice are two very different things, and apparently Nutrien did the math and decided American soil beats Canadian cooperation. This whole situation really highlights a bigger problem in Canadian politics, provinces talking past each other instead of to each other. You've got Saskatchewan looking for the best deal, BC trying to attract investment, Alberta wanting pipelines, and the federal government trying to keep everyone happy while probably making nobody happy. It's like herding cats, except the cats all have their own provincial budgets and political agendas. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, or should I say, the orange elephant south of the border. By choosing Washington, Nutrien is betting that dealing with American infrastructure headaches and potential Trump tantrums is still better than whatever challenges BC's ports present. That should be a wake-up call. If Canadian companies are choosing American options because they're easier or cheaper, that's a competitiveness problem we can't ignore just because it hurts our feelings. So what happens next? Will Nutrien change their minds? Probably not. Billion-dollar decisions don't get reversed because a premier expressed disappointment. Will this push BC to make their ports more competitive? Maybe, but infrastructure changes take years, not weeks. Will Saskatchewan and BC actually start talking to each other like adults? Well, that's the real question, isn't it? Here's the thing, this billion-dollar snub is bigger than just one terminal. It's about whether Canadian provinces can work together to compete globally, or whether we'll keep tripping over our own feet while our neighbors to the south sweep up the opportunities. If you're as fascinated by this interprovincial drama as I am, smash that like button and subscribe to Canadian Insights. We're posting multiple videos daily because Canadian politics never sleeps, and honestly, neither do we. Drop a comment telling me whether you think EB's right to be mad or if Nutrien made the smart business call. And hey, if you've got thoughts on how to make BC ports more competitive, I'm all ears. We're building a community here, people. Until next time, stay informed, stay skeptical, and remember, in Canadian politics, the drama is always just getting started.